Pistons Live is presented by Cure Auto Insurance. The Detroit Pistons improved to 51-19 on this season. They clinch a postseason berth. Danis Jenkins in the starting lineup. Finished with 22 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds. Everybody's smiling. Even Draymond Green, George, and Greg. Danis Jenkins standing by with Natalie Kerwin.
Danis, you are stepping into a bigger role with Cade Cunningham being sidelined. What has been your mindset getting that added responsibility?
Man, just trying to get back to being me. My energy fuels my game, man. So I keep my energy right. I dominate on the defensive end, and then my offense just picks up off of that. And I'm just trying to make up for our brother down, man. Stu down, Cade down. We're just trying to show everybody that we can control the ship till we get back.
You talk about being fueled by energy. That's what the defense did here tonight. That's what got you guys back into this. How did you do it? What did you see on that end?
Yeah, I mean, like I always say, man, my game is tenacity. I'm a dog, man, and I'm going to play hard every single night on the defensive end. And then on offense, I mean, I just take what the defense give me, and I just try to make everybody around me better. So that's all I try to do. And like I said, just energy. Defense is all effort and energy and heart. So that's all I try to do.
This team tonight forced 20-plus turnovers, and you guys had 17 steals as a team. Asar had his career-high 7 steals tonight. I mean, where does that aggressiveness come from for him and for this group?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time, man. He come out and set the tone like that. Everybody else just got to follow suit. And that's all we try to do, keep that intensity up, keep that pressure on guys, because that's who we are.
Well, now you guys can say it. You are the first Eastern Conference team this year to clinch a playoff spot. How special is that for this group?
Oh, man, I mean, it's special. Like I said, we know what our goals are for this year. That's a special moment, but we just want to keep going and keep getting better each and every game, try to tweak it and get ready for them playoffs.
Appreciate it, Danis. Great job tonight.
All right, thank you.
All right, Danis Jenkins tonight, 22 points for this Pistons group as the Pistons beat the Warriors here tonight at home. Johnny and Grant.
All right, Natalie, let's take a look at our Xfinity. This is storylines here tonight, just a disparity in some key margins. I thought Golden State came out, played tough there in the opening quarter, but then the Pistons, the 26 forced turnovers tonight, the paint point advantage, and obviously with what Danis was able to do, we got 21 there, but he actually 22 points, the 8 assists, 7 boards. Just, that's a collective effort. That was the effort that this team needed tonight, especially with everything that was at stake, which was a spot in the postseason. And Grant Long, I'm here to tell you the Pistons are in the playoffs.
You got to love it, Johnny. And you know what? When I saw this game at the very beginning, I'm thinking the Pistons just have to wear them down because on paper, and I know the games are played off the paper, but on paper, the Pistons are a better team, talented from top to bottom, considering how the rosters are structured. No Steph Curry, so forth. The Pistons were the better team tonight. Now, it took some time for them to get going and impose their will on this Golden State Warriors team, but that's essentially what happened. The Pistons recognized that. They just kept their foot on the gas, and at some point, they just moved past the Warriors.
They did. 70 games down, now 12 games to go. Again, the math's pretty simple. You just keep winning, and those teams like Boston and New York are going to be unable to catch you. But you handle the business right in front of you. Obviously, a big game coming up on Monday with the Lakers coming in town. We'll get into all that stuff here in just a little bit. But, this is important for this team because everything takes steps. And I think if you go back to the beginning of the year, when you looked at what the Pistons had, what they lost, what they brought in, and coming off the first round exit last year against the Knicks, I think a lot of people felt like the next step for this Pistons team was, win a playoff series. But to become the first team in the Eastern Conference to secure a postseason berth and to almost go gate to wire as far as holding that number 1 seed, maybe ahead of the curve as far as what outside expectations. But this is a special run that we've been a part of to this point.
Yeah, I agree, Johnny. But you have to let go if you can. You have to let go of that. When they won 14 games and then everybody was so excited about tripling their win total from the previous season when you have to understand that they only won 14 games. I'm not saying that wasn't an accomplishment, but you have to think where they started from to win triple that win total.
Sure.
So you got to, like you mentioned, you got to take steps. This team understands what they're all about. The way that they're moving through this season, as you mentioned, to be able to lead nearly from start to finish, to win, to be able to clinch a playoff spot at this point in the season, that's one of those goals, and you've heard me talk about it. You have goals that you set at the beginning of the season, and you achieve some of those small goals throughout the season. This is another one of those small goals that gives you a lot of confidence to move forward.
Yeah, it's almost like checking the box.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get here. Let's get here. Okay, let's get in.
Yeah.
We're invited to the dance now. Obviously still work left to do here in the regular season. And again, they've got to navigate this stretch. We didn't have Isaiah Stewart tonight. We didn't see Cade Cunningham, obviously, as he continues to heal. But Jenkins thrust into the starting role. We saw what he did earlier in the year. There's a reason why this guy earned himself a legitimate contract coming off a two-way deal. Flirted with the triple-double tonight. And here's the big part about it is the Pistons are 8-2 when Jenkins is in the starting lineup. That says quality depth.
Yeah, I like it when, I wouldn't call it his back's against the wall, but in this situation, he needed to produce the way that he did. He needed to be good on both sides of the ball. And then when I say both sides, obviously offense and defense, but he also needed to be a catalyst offensively, and he also needed to be a playmaker. He checked all the boxes in those categories. And without Cade Cunningham in the ballgame, he needed to play exactly how he played it for the Pistons to have a chance to win this ballgame. So I love the fact that he stepped up. You mentioned the record when he's in the lineup and when he starts, tells you right there all that you need about the depth of this team.
We showed you some of the numbers, just what the Pistons were able to do from a defensive standpoint. We knew, again, Golden State came in. They've been playing good defense here early. But the Pistons had like 4 steals in the first 3 minutes of the game, and they were able to continue on with the points off turnovers to be able to get out and run. This was the brand of basketball using our Buick GMC Provision that we've come to expect, we've come to appreciate about this team. When they're able to turn the other team over, get out and run, they've got so many athletes on the floor at any given time. It's just a beautiful brand of basketball to watch unfold.
Yeah, lots of active hands on the part of the Pistons defense tonight, and we asked the question at the very beginning, who will replace the Cade Cunningham deficit of points because he's not playing, and also Isaiah Stewart? Well, look no further than the Pistons' overall team defense, because time and time again they were active with their hands, forcing turnovers and letting their defense generate offense. That's how you make up for the absence of Cade Cunningham and Isaiah Stewart in your lineup and their point production. The Pistons' defense, to a man, they really impacted this game on that end of the floor. And when you do that, it supplements you having to play necessarily in a half-court offense. That puts a lot of pressure on your half-court offense when you're missing some key elements and you have to generate points. The best way to overcome that is amp up your defense, Johnny, force the turnovers, and get out and play in transition. The Pistons did a fantastic job of that.
They really did. Asar Thompson's a guy that he doesn't look for necessarily his own stuff, meaning like looking for it, but he will create opportunities for himself to score the basketball. But tonight, we talk about the steals. I mean, career high 7 steals. That's a month for some guys in this league. The fact that Asar, we'll make him our Cure Auto player of the game just because he was so impactful with everything he did, moving without the basketball. But again, turning this Golden State team over time and time again. 7 steals. It's unbelievable number.
Tenacious and pesky is what I use to call or talk about Asar Thompson's defense tonight. He was all over the place, and you already mentioned it, Johnny. I love this off the ball movement to get into those crevices and get easy layups at the basket. Made some nice passes as well. But we already know that Asar Thompson in this defense is going to always serve notice on whoever the opponent is. He was all over the place playing the passing lanes, like I said. When you can do that, we're going to give your team, well, obviously you take away the possession from your opponent, but you give your team another opportunity to score at the basket. This is what he does. You don't have to run a play for him. He'll make something happen just by being on the floor. He's one of those guys, a plug and play, if you will. Put him on the floor, go do what you do, and we'll live with the results. He, Ron Holland, they all fall in that category that just put them on the floor and they'll make something positive happen.
We were talking to JB Bickerstaff before the game, and it was brought to his attention that they could clinch a playoff berth with a win tonight, and he's like, did not know that.
No.
Because, you're coming off the game against Washington back-to-back, you fly home, you just get into your game plan for tonight. JB well aware now about what this team has accomplished. Let's hear from Coach Bickerstaff.
JB, you guys forced over 20 turnovers tonight, 16 steals as a team. Just how disruptive was the defense tonight?
No, it was awesome. I thought that was a point of emphasis for us going into the game, is trying to figure out how our defense can create that chaos that we're looking for, how that could create transition opportunities for us. I think that's something that we have the ability to do consistently. And if it gets us out in transition, lets our athletes be athletes, play advantage basketball, it's going to help us.
I know we talked about this earlier today, the group having a chance to clinch a playoff berth tonight if they get the win. You guys just did that, and you answer this a lot, but how would you describe what this group has done this season to get to this point here tonight?
I mean, they've been a joy to coach. They've been one of the most connected teams that I've ever been a part of. I feel fortunate every single day that I get to come to work with these guys. Their spirit, their willingness to be coached, their want to do it together, their willingness to sacrifice for one another, and their ability to just buy into the process of what we do every single day. Helps development, helps growth, keeps them focused. But just the spirit that they play with every night is just different here. And I got a ton of respect and admiration for the guys. But that's the difference. And that's why we're sitting where we are right now.
The last few weeks, you talked about being more intentional with how the team was passing on offense, spreading the ball out more. Just fell a little bit short of the 30 mark assists tonight, but you guys have done that pretty consistently over the last couple of games. When you are shorthanded, when you're missing a playmaker like Cade, how important is it that you guys keep up that dynamic?
I mean, our offense, obviously without Cade, has to be diverse, right? It has to be, consistently, ball movement, body movement, forcing the defense have to guard 5 guys on the floor, everybody be a part of it, attack from different angles, attack from your strength. But they put 2 on, you find an advantage. You got to hit the advantage every single time. And that's what our guys have bought into.
Lasar Thompson had a career-high 7 steals tonight. What has it been like for you just to watch his growth on the defensive side of the ball, knowing when you took this job, that was already a strength of his game?
It just is amazing at how disruptive he can be. He single-handedly can eliminate guys. He single-handedly can create chaos on, that end of the floor. He creates confusion, with his ability to be what it seems like 6 places at once, block shots, get steals, get deflections, frustrate guys because he can pick them up full court and they can't get around him. So, it's elite. It's impressive and it's not easy. And I think that's what people need to, show that end of the floor a little more respect. We all want to talk about points and all that, but what he does on a night in, night out basis is extremely difficult, and he's one of the best in the business at it.
JB, Jalen Duren's shot creation is becoming really high level, especially for his position. Even from the beginning of the season, the growth has been pretty drastic. How fun is that to have as a weapon to be able to utilize, and how much you even envision that growth continuing to evolve in his game? It's
going to continue to get better because he puts the work in, and he's extremely intelligent. And what he's quickly learned is when, and how. A lot of times, because you're at that position, it's hard to find spacing and where the defense, is going to give you room to punch those gaps and how you can punch those gaps. And I think, really quickly he's found a way to do that. And it's only going to get better. And it's going to be necessary for us down the stretch that he continue to do it, because it's just so different than around the league now. There's not many 5s that put the ball on the floor and face you up, and can beat you and attack you. Now you got to make different decisions on where you're going to help from.
Coach, there's been a lot of games where you guys have kind of started off a little slow in terms of shooting, and while the opponent's been a little bit hot earlier, instead of focusing on playing their game and trying to play catch up, you guys stick to your identity defense, and then you heat up later on. Kind of talk about what it takes to stick to that discipline and just play your game instead of trying to chase theirs.
Yeah, we know who we are, and we know what makes us unique. There is no, guessing about, what makes us different and what leads to our successes. The grit, the toughness, defense, all those things. And then somehow those turned into manufactured buckets, and then shots start to fall for us. So, as long as we continue to defend at a high level, which creates offense for us, it gives us momentum. It makes defenses have to chase you, right? You put pressure on their paint. Now they collapse. You get good open looks, and they keep being unselfish and sharing the ball with one another. We'll be fine. But they know their identity, and that's the most important thing. All right.
Real quick.
Hurry your ass up.
I got you. But if you just kind of look at the turnaround that you spearheaded since you got here over the last couple seasons, I know we talk about the connectivity, the togetherness and everything, but what would you say is the one thing you're just most proud of with that turnaround?
There's so many things, but the thing that I'm most pleased with this group is their genuine willingness to sacrifice of themselves for everybody that's around them. And that's been the difference between, the beginning of when we got here to where we are now. Like, you just watch them and they all just pour into each other. They celebrate each other. Like, when it's their moment, their teammates are celebrating them in their moment. When it's not, they're celebrating whoever's moment it is. And that's the thing that I'm most proud about, is just to be a part of a group of guys that are willing to do that.
A big win for the boys here tonight. We're going to head inside the Pistons locker room, get some reaction from the guys as they are postseason bound following tonight's 115-101 victory over Golden State. We're just getting started here on Pistons Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance.